G'day everybody, welcome back to another episode of Craft by Tim. Welcome to episode 2 of making this sword. Today we've got heaps of work to do. First things first, we're going to do a few normalizing cycles and then we're going to heat treat this. Let's get cracking. Hardening we're going to break down into I think 6 different steps. So first 3 steps, normalizing cycles. We heat the blade up to a semi-critical temperature and we let it cool down nice and slowly. And we don't do any work to it whilst this is happening, we just let it sort of happen naturally. And what this does is it refines the grain structure back to its normal state, hence the term normalizing. After this, we then have to heat it up a 4th time to a critical temperature and then we quench it. And this is the nerve-wracking part because directly after quenching, we have a few minutes, generally somewhere between, it could be 3 and I think 10 minutes. I'm hopefully going to keep it down to like 3 minutes. So after we quench it, we have to take the blade out of the oil and then we have to straighten it, which I'll not actually be doing any proper straightening. I'm going to more or less just clamp it between 2 pieces of tubing to hopefully keep it nice and straight whilst it cools down. We're going to leave it for 20 minutes. And then after that, got to remove the scale, and then I can temper it. And this basically all has to happen today. So, a bit nervous, we'll see how we go. Of course, the majorly challenging thing that I forgot to mention is the fact that my forge is so small in comparison to the length of this blade. It's going to take quite a bit to get this up to temperature. Alright, it's a little bit darker than what I'd like, but we're ready for the quench as of right now. Let me run you through a few things. I am explaining this for the camera, but you're welcome to listen. Alright, go on. So we have 2 plates here, and the plan is for these is we're going to use them to straighten out the blade once it's quenched. I gotta make sure that I get it out of the quench tank and over here clamped up within about 3 minutes of like the initial quench. So hopefully we'll be able to get it all done. And if not, we could break it. Yay! I'd say so. Seems like it was successful. It will be so much more fun. I'm actually genuinely upset about it.
Me too.
I like the idea for the thumbnail. Crap. I'm assuming the crunching is the flux and not the blade. Really hoping. I don't know. Genuinely stumped forwards. Do you want to just heat something big up in the forge?
Blow it up.
And just... And Just so we get a fireball.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. So as of right now, the blade is now quenched, and surprisingly enough hardened, even though we didn't have any like fireballs. So we're gonna try and temper this, and we'll go from there. I have good news and bad news. Good news, it's tempered, and we got a pretty nice even temper color all the way along. Sort of a dark straw color, which is perfect, which is exactly what I was after. And I've actually already started grinding on it. Been using the 40 grit belt again. I took it back down from, I think it was 120 before the quench. The reason why I've gone back to 40 is because I've realized that there's actually quite a bit of work to do. Which leads me into the bad news. I might have accidentally made Shan Yu's sword because it's a little bit wonky, but it's starting to get a little bit lighter, and I've got a bunch of more material that I can remove, so hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit less wonky by the time it comes out. Let's get back to the grinding of this, and then hopefully soon we'll be able to start working on the guard and the pommel. Probably gonna take a while. Well, it certainly has been a little while, so we're going to move into beveling it some more in a second. Before I do, I wanted to quickly address something. This here is a block of timber that I got from the Perth Knife Show this year. Doesn't look like much, and it actually has nothing to do with this build, but I wanted to talk about it quickly because it's very interesting. So this is stabilized. All that I can say is that it's... I'm pretty sure it is actually a timber. It's not like, what do you call them? It's not like micarta or anything like that. It's got a nice tight grain pattern, very nice dark timbers, and it's really nice to work with. Aside from one aspect, it doesn't taste good. What I mean by that is, when you have a mask that doesn't seal properly, you'll know about it. And it obviously wasn't doing me any good. Not quite sick, but like, I really didn't feel very good after each session inside the shed. So I thought, I threw out the mask, well, I put it in the bucket, and now I got a new one. This one cost me 90 bucks from Bunnings. It'd be kind of stupid for me to be shaving years off my life whilst shaving down blocks of timber like this. Take your lungs very seriously. I'm gonna quickly put it together.
This feels better. Welcome to the apocalypse, son.
Hey Tim. Hey, hallucination of myself caused by sleep deprivation. How are you? I'm a figment of your imagination, so I'm doing as well as you are. So, you know, really tired. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just doing some hand sanding. I really wish I didn't have to do it this way. It feels like it takes like way too long. Really wish I could get like someone else to do it for me. That would be ideal. Well, it sounds like you need someone to work for you. Come on, man. Let's face the fact. I can't afford to pay anyone. Oh no, just the guy. We only need a few things. I'm listening. Get started. Whoa, that actually kind of worked.
You dare summon me to the mortal plane? Who do you think you are?
Awesome. Hey man, how you doing?
I was in the middle of forge welding when some mortal brat drags me out of there. You know how hard it is to get a forge weld to work in the underworld?
You'd think forge welding in the underworld would be easy, considering it's like, you know, constantly like 1,000 degrees Celsius, at least.
It's actually a lot harder than you'd think. Everything is made out of like cast iron, just horrible. A forge is like made out of copper.
Why would you do that?
It's hell.
Yeah, right, okay, fair enough. Anyway, like, I just have a small favour to ask of you.
Do you have anything to offer for this favor?
I got the rest of this jar of coffee. It's Coles, but it's coffee.
Haven't had coffee for like 4.5 centuries.
I just need you to do a little bit of hand sanding for me on a sword.
I accept. Show me where the sword is.
3 hours later.
Tim! 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 Tim!
You just throw an apple at me?
Yeah. You didn't respond. Alright, it's just, sword's finished to 200 grit.
Really? Already?
Pretty rough though.
Alright, well, let's see it. This is looking pretty damn good. Now, it's obviously not perfect, and most of that's my fault. I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name. Something like...
Why, worth himself,
but it's really hard to pronounce, so, do you have another name that I can call you?
I don't have one.
Okay, well, that's going to be something that I will deal with at another date. This isn't going to be a perfect sword, so I'm going to try and learn as much as I can from it, and I'm just going to treat it like one of those sorts of projects. But it's actually really flexible. It's not bad. It's pretty lightweight. So, you know, I can't complain heaps about how this is turning out. I think the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to try and finish the blade as much as possible. Thin down this tang. Obviously you can see it's not quite straight, so we're going to try and straighten that out a little bit, and we're going to thin it down quite a bit. Well, that pretty well marks the end of this video. I know that I didn't get as much done as I would like to, and I'm sorry about how long this took. I hope you guys still enjoyed it, and I hope you guys found it entertaining. There will hopefully only be one more episode, because we are really close to actually getting this done. That's probably the most annoying thing about this, is that fact that I've been teetering on the edge of really close to being done. I just needed to take those extra few steps. But we have a blade. It is blued. I keep looking at the camera thinking that that's rust, but it's not. It's just the fact that I didn't get a very even finish of the blue. Even then, it feels really light. It feels relatively whippy, and it actually feels like it's gonna be a pretty decent sword, even with all of its imperfections. I hope this turns out alright. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to catch you all in the next episode. Speaking of the next episode, we have the guard to finish, and the pommel to finish, and then we have a handle to make, and then that's pretty well this sword done. So, sword coming very soon. I'm really looking forward to finishing off this episode, and I hope you guys are too. Don't forget to check out the Spreadshirt store. We now have stickers. I am gonna try and not plug the store too much, but it is something that I'm really proud of. If you want to check out the Spreadshirt store, yeah, head on over. See whether or not you can find yourself something nice. You might find something for Christmas, for gifts and stuff. But in the meantime, remember to stay safe, happy crafting, and as always, cheers. I gotta put this thing down before I cut myself. Part of me wonders, what happens if I do actually end up summoning a demon with this? I'd probably mess with, like, a lot of things that I believe in. Anyway, that's a pretty decent pentagram.